Hey, come here, Doc. Good, how are you? Champs in the house. Let's go, baby.
What?
30 seconds. What a beautiful left hook. I like the way you prepared before, just like that, Mike. Just one. Exactly. How can I touch you? Explode body shots. Beautiful. He can find you. He cannot find you.
There he is. Just like that.
Beautiful. Eyes on him. You hunt him. Beautiful crossman. 15 seconds. Good. Oh, yeah. Beautiful combination, Mike.
Your head after you left.
Tyson's training clips don't feel like nostalgia pieces. They look like a heavyweight storm being reconstructed in real time.
Now you gotta do it.
I want this shit. Got a box.
Stay hydrated. You gotta stay hydrated. You gotta stay hydrated.
I'm gonna box more around. You got to box around.
You're done Friday. Save you for Friday, man.
Huh? You know you can do things else like that. So what's because you know you can't. You know you can't. I need boxes. That's my thing. You know, always something scared. That's cool for your head. I need the boxes, and that's what I gotta do. I gotta box. Warn them off.
Best guy in the world you want to be on Friday.
The frame, the explosiveness, the way the combinations snap under Rafael Cordero's supervision, it radiates that Old C can destroy energy that made opponents uneasy when the bell sounded.
Today was the day he's supposed to rest, and then he called all of us to come here because he decided to train. My opinion was the best decision. This is the way Mike, handled the things.
Mike, by yourself, Chad. Mike, this is amazing. Roll three. Woo! Puta que pariu! Excelente, Mike. Excelente. We're good, Mike. Excelente participants. Smoke that joint they go to jail. Here we are. Yeah, you know? Here we are.
He's devastating.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
The level of the game invents itself. People that participated add to it.
Floyd may own the flawless record and the defensive genius reputation, but Mike carrying that history of 44 knockouts is the psychological element nobody can overlook. Because that kind of power isn't only physical, it's intimidating even before a punch is delivered.
Distance. Nice distance. Nice one, Mike. Nice one, Mike. Nice one, Mike.
5.
More, Mike.
You're up in the air.
Check cross the sleep. Nice one, Mike. Nice one, Mike. Sleep roll. Sleep roll. What's the best one? What's the best one? What's the best one? Sleep roll. Stop it. One shot. Isso. That's it. Sleep roll. One shot. Oh, yeah.
The contrast feels almost cinematic. Floyd, the master mover, the ring general who survives through precision and angles, against Tyson, the pressure engine who excels at closing distance and unleashing short, violent shots. And this is where it becomes compelling. Cordero's role isn't for spectacle. It's about discipline and measured aggression, which at Mike's age becomes more about timing and purpose than non-stop volume.
Mike's just different. I've worked with some very exceptional athletes throughout my life, and they're all remarkable in their own way, but Mike's just a whole different animal.
What we doing?
We'll do one more set. Let's get 12 reps. It's the heaviest we've gone on this. So just focus on perfect form, 12 reps.
233 today, contact for 230.
12 is all we need.
I'm over the 225, 228 up.
Lean mean.
Big
Lean
chest.
mean.
1, there we go. 2, 3, 4, good work. 8, 4 more. 9, 10, 2 more, Mike. 11 and 12. Good set.
Easy,
First time we've done that.
That was easy.
Yeah, it was.
People will shout money grab, absolutely, but camps don't operate with this degree of seriousness for a relaxed exhibition atmosphere. When legends prepare like this, pride quietly overtakes promotion. All at once, it isn't only about paydays anymore. It's about identity, legacy, and the dangerous thought that one clean right hand from a driven Tyson could still shift the internal narrative in seconds.
Only 12, that's all we want. To the middle. 1, 2, 3,
A little slow in the window.
4, there we go. 9, one more.
Slow.
10, no problem. Great set. Best set yet. Final round. Last one, Mike. Nice and strong. 30 times. Let you go. 1, 2, here we go. 3, 4, nice. 5, yes sir.
6, 7, strong.
8, strong. 9, got this.
We go.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go. 8, 9. One more. Get up.
That intimidating Tyson training aura we just mentioned suddenly meets Evander Holyfield's calm, almost restrained reaction. And honestly, that contrast is intriguing because Holyfield isn't proclaiming dominance. He's subtly pointing to the elephant in the room. Size. When Evander casually says, "It's kind of different size-wise," I'm instantly thinking, that's the most courteous way to describe a heavyweight puncher versus a defensive welterweight genius in the same sentence. He doesn't exaggerate it. He simply anchors it in reality. Tyson is naturally the larger man. And in boxing physics, mass plus power equals tension, regardless of the era.
All-time Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson announced he's fighting Floyd Mayweather in 2026. What do you think of that fight overall?
Well, kind of different, the size-wise, Tyson's heavyweight, and I think he went weatherweight.
Right.
So it's.
Is it a real fight? Do you think? You think fans should take it serious? Is it a real fight, Mayweather Tyson?
I couldn't think it was real. Because the fact of the matter, he's a lot bigger than the guy, so the weight makes.
But what really stands out to me is when he questions whether it even feels like a real fight, because that line gently shifts the narrative from spectacle hype to competitive legitimacy. It's almost as if Holyfield is assessing the matchup as a fighter first, not a follower of headlines. At the same time, his tone doesn't reject the intrigue. It recognizes the mismatch dynamic while still honoring the names involved. And that's where it becomes layered. You have Tyson's pressure identity, Floyd's survival expertise, and now a legend like Holyfield framing it through pure size logic instead of emotion. No theatrics, just experience speaking. Yet here's the collision forming in my mind. Skill can offset size, but size only needs one instant to count. So when Holyfield keeps it straightforward, he's actually delivering a heavyweight level truth in the most composed manner possible.
I got Tyson.
You got Tyson over Mayweather. That's huge. Well, I just got Floyd because he's younger, 10 years younger, fast, elusive.
But I hear bigger punches, man. You don't get toe up.
Really?
Well, of course.
So if Tyson lands on Floyd, Floyd's going down?
Yeah.
But so when he fought Jake Paul, some fans, they weren't too impressed with Tyson's performance versus Jake Paul. Do you think you'll have a better one versus Floyd?
I just think if they compete, you're gonna get.
Holyfield's calm, size-driven reasoning about heavyweight reality versus smaller technician brilliance suddenly gets turned upside down the moment Ariel sounds sincerely uncertain the fight even exists. And that transition is crazy because now we're not arguing styles, we're questioning reality. Ariel literally saying he saw the announcement and thought, "I didn't think it was real," instantly injects doubt into a narrative that had been moving purely on spectacle momentum. And I'm sitting here thinking, that's a reporter's mind activating, not a fan's excitement. Then he mentions the promoter confusion and the lack of specifics. No date, no venue, no format. And suddenly the entire mega event aura starts appearing less like a finalized showdown and more like a public temperature gauge. That testing the waters perspective he hints at? Low-key one of the sharpest observations so far. Because in modern boxing, announcements themselves can function as marketing experiments before a fight ever becomes official.
I think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again. I think if this match was made on the heels of Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., I think this would be blockbuster. I think people would be falling over themselves to consume this. After the Jake Paul version of Mike Tyson, I don't think anybody's going to be interested.
Tyson will be close to 60 by the time this happens.
And Mayweather has been out of the spotlight for a lot longer now.
Yeah.
But what really clashes with everything we've heard earlier is Ariel pointing straight at Tyson's last outing while questioning public appetite. And that mirrors Porter's timing concerns and Wade's spectacle fatigue in a different, more industry-centered tone. He's not ridiculing legends. He's evaluating demand sustainability. Then the panel casually asking, "What's the appeal now?" lands harder than any dramatic hot take because it forces an uncomfortable comparison. Roy Jones' nostalgia succeeded. Jake Paul curiosity succeeded. But Floyd versus an almost 60-year-old Tyson? That's a different emotional calculation. At the same time, Ariel admitting he'd prefer to see Floyd versus Manny again over this matchup introduces another layer of business logic colliding with legacy intrigue. And the funniest contradiction? They question the interest, yet they analyze it for several minutes straight. That alone tells me the name gravity of Tyson and Mayweather still bends the conversation orbit. Even when skepticism is strong, logic is cautious, and confidence about the fight actually happening feels shakier than headlines imply.
If it does happen, it's just like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's not them at their highest level. It's an exhibition. Everybody will clown on it when it eventually does happen.
There is a way that exhibitions can be fun. Tyson versus Roy Jones was actually like the best version of that, right? An exhibition that like I thought was exciting, delivered for the fans, but also that was so long ago for Mike Tyson. The version that we saw
like
against
early
Jake Paul,
50s.
Yeah, the version that we saw against Jake Paul just can't
Against
do it
the
anymore.
guy around his size too. Floyd Mayweather is not that.
Roy's pretty small, but
So
no, not as small as Floyd though.
Yeah, Roy fought at heavyweight at one time.
That whole Ariel-style skepticism about whether this fight is even legitimate suddenly gets body-slammed by Frank Smith casually predicting Tyson by controversial first-round knockout, like he just ordered coffee. And I'm not even upset at the boldness because that's promoter energy fused with spectacle instinct in one sentence. You hear him praising young prospects, future stars, long-term growth, calm, steady development for 18 and 19-year-olds. And then boom, sharp turn into forecasting a heavyweight legend flattening an undefeated defensive genius in round one. The tonal whiplash is both hilarious and captivating. When Frank discusses investing in the sport's future, I'm nodding like, yes, that's the structured boxing blueprint: prospects, experience, discipline, steady progression. Then seconds later, he drops the Tyson prediction and suddenly we're back in chaos theory boxing where size, aura, and myth collide with logic. And notice the phrasing, controversial knockout. Not clean. Not straightforward. Controversial.
He's a brilliant fighter, but he obviously needs to apply himself in the sport to get the best out of it. And you know, it wasn't professional coming in overweight, and I think he's got to look at how he approaches his return to the ring. You know, because boxing isn't a sport where you can cut corners. And I'm not saying he did, but you know, the weight it doesn't help him in these kind of nights. But a great fight, and respect to both of them for that.
Which subtly acknowledges the exhibition oddness Porter mentioned earlier and the uncertainty Ariel questioned. That's not merely a forecast, that's narrative foresight. I'm also noticing how casually he describes heavyweight bouts as inherently dangerous, which unintentionally fuels the Tyson storyline because when a naturally larger puncher is present, the risk equation shifts instantly. But here's where my thoughts divide. Analytically, Floyd's survival IQ is legendary. Theatrically, the image of Tyson connecting early is precisely the storyline promoters no fans picture. It's like realism and spectacle debating mid-sentence. One side argues timing, age, speed, logistics. The other insists, one moment, one surge, one historic shock. And the funniest detail? Frank sounds calmer discussing teenage prospects than he does predicting first-round Tyson chaos. That contrast alone captures this entire matchup. Structured boxing reasoning on paper. Unpredictable legend energy and imagination in reality. And the audience caught in between, pretending we wouldn't tune in if it actually happens.
Mike Roy was super interesting. It was in the, very kind of early stages of the pandemic.
Yeah.
8 months in, but we were still kind of dark and depressed at that point. And like Tyson hadn't fought, it was nostalgic, it was Roy. Okay, so I got the appeal. I got the appeal of Jake because he was so much younger and he's, a novice compared to Tyson. I don't know. Okay, now what's the...
So after all the training clips, Holyfield's size reasoning, Ariel's skepticism, and Frank Smith casually forecasting first-round chaos like it's a weather update, we're left in this strange boxing paradox where logic says this matchup is unusual, but legacy says you're still watching. One moment we're analyzing sparring intensity and Rafael Corderero's discipline. The next we're questioning whether the fight even materializes, and somehow both discussions feel valid simultaneously. Tyson's aura signals danger. Floyd's IQ signals survival. And the business side quietly murmurs mega event regardless of age, weight, or realism. That's the true collision here. Not simply two legends, but myth versus mechanics, nostalgia versus practicality, spectacle versus competitive purity, all clashing in the same ring before the bell sounds. And let's be real, fans behave like analysts in interviews, then transform into spectators. The second iconic names are announced, that's Boxing Psychology 101. You doubt it, you critique it, you debate it, and then you still tune in because legacy gravity remains undefeated. Now I want to know your position on this. Does Tyson's power and size genuinely create danger? Or does Floyd's defensive brilliance turn this into a tactical showcase instead of chaos? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's genuinely discuss it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Pulse. See you in the next one.